Welcome back. Belmathuin here, bringing you episode number 2. A lot has happened since the last episode, between work and kids and adult responsibilities. I haven't been able to record, but I figure for the first part of this episode we will catch up on what has happened. So we'll get right into it. This is where we ended off the last episode, standing right about where the house is standing. The only saplings I have right now are spruce, so it's kind of a boring build. Got a little bit of dark oak off of shipwrecks and stuff on the way here, as well as some diamonds on the way here. Now, might seem like quite a jump from the last video, but I kind of skipped some of the more boring aspects of the beginning game. I dug myself a little mine shaft all the way down using ladders, and at some point I need to put a drop chute because going down the ladders is super slow. But I got down here, and I've done a little bit of mining. Got some more diamonds, some more iron, a bunch of redstone and coal. And we find ourselves directly above a beautiful looking mine, or ravine shaft. Looks like it splits off over there. It goes around. And there must be another one right over here, because this is the first shaft I dug, and I made it 40 blocks and ran into another mine shaft. So I pillared up and got a good amount of iron out of it. Let's try not to wash over into the lava. So at some point we may be doing something with this ravine. I've always liked the wide ravines that you can make gangplanks going across, and if there's a nice cave system going off of one of these, we may make that into kind of a sub base for farms and such, because put a couple logs going up and down, find a nice pattern for a floor, and you can make some pretty beautiful bridges, tunnels. Bring some leaves down here to add some life to it. You can do a lot with a big ravine like this. This was actually complete luck. I had no idea this was down here when I was doing my scouting out before I started the series. So let's get back up to the top. Well, it would also help if I went the right way. So I know some people are against AFK fishing farms, but as somebody that works full time, has kids, and other responsibilities, AFK fish farm can really save you some time. It can really make the game a little less grindy, more relaxing if you just pop into this thing. By the way, this is a Doc M design. Super simple to make. Let me see if I can chop into it a little bit, show you what's going on there. So literally all it is a note block with a iron trap door against the block above it. there's a one block drop there and a waterlogged fence. And that one drop block is so that the water will flow into the hole and not back along there. And the gold pressure plate, I don't know if it actually has to be gold, but Doc used a gold one, and it's one of the few uses I have for gold right now, so I figured why not. Let's put this back together. Grab my fishing rod. Now on the way over here, I got a mending rod and an unbreaking 3 rod out of shipwrecks. So I combined those to start. And you just kind of stand in the middle of this block right here. Throw your bobber out onto the pressure plate. And I always aim at that little particle right there. And hold down, right click. Yeah, Doc M77 is, if you've never seen his YouTube videos, you definitely need to check them out. You can learn a lot about this game through him. And this has got to be the most simple AFK fishing setup I've ever used. It's just very simple, easy to get the required ingredients. And I usually just put a item frame down, keep my fishing rod there so I know where it is when I go to do it. I typically will just sit myself right here when I'm about ready to go to bed and leave it running for the night. I won't be doing it every night all the time. It's just kind of a jump starter, if you will. Now, using that farm, I have this unfinished basement here. We're gonna have to do something about that. From the farm, I just did a hopper chain down into a bunch of chests, and I AFK'd for maybe 6 hours last night. I got all of those books, a bunch of bows and fishing rods and cod that I threw over into that corner to despawn because I really don't have any use for them. And using these books, I managed to get 3 mending books. So I used some of the few diamonds I had, made a mending Fortune 3 Efficiency 5 pickaxe, and well, this has only got sharpness 4, but it's got sweeping edge and mending, so this will get us through the beginning. I also managed to make my flingy thingy, just kind of your basic infinity bow. Put that back down there. I threw this together. It's more or less it's your Direwolf 20 9x9 interior, so that it's pretty safe if you put a torch on each wall. Got a few storage chests with riches. We don't have a whole lot right now. A few mob drops. A little bit of salmon from the farm. Cooked that up. Using this. It's just a simple run-of-the-mill super smelter. Very basic. I've got 2 hoppers underneath the furnaces leading into this chest. Cooking up tons of kelp. 2 hoppers coming down from this chest. And by the looks of it, we're almost out of kelp. I left that running. I had that double chest full, which is where I got all these blocks from. Left that full while I was AFK fishing overnight. Went through all 64 blocks in each of these furnaces. And let's get rid of the night quick. Would be just my luck to walk out that front door to show you the kelp farm. and have some nice potholes laying right here, right next to my yard sale. So to get the kelp, all I did was I came down in this nice little natural bay. I plopped a spruce door down here so that I can catch my breath. There's another one over in that direction. And I took the kelp that was here, broke it, and planted down more. So I can come down here and pretty quickly and efficiently just walk around punching. I tend to aim up a little bit because I don't want to. You don't want to break that block right there, because then you'll have to replant it. And let's not drown. From inside the door, you can actually open it or close it to get at the other sides as well. And then on my way over to the other door, I'll pluck some of the outliers. There's the door. And you'd be surprised how much kelp you can get just doing this manual method. Granted, we're going to want some sort of kelp farm later on, just so that we never have to waste any coal doing this. We'll need all the coal to light up all the caves around the area at any and all of our builds. I really need to get Respiration 3. I don't have enough diamonds for a helmet right now. I do actually have a Respiration 3 book and an Aqua Affinity, but not wasting the few diamonds I have right now. I just hop in this boat up here. Kind of spiral my way inward. I actually found the last couple of times, it'll probably happen this time as well, that that little kelp farm right there, that 2 minutes we spent underwater, will actually fill your inventory just about 2 times. That's plenty of kelp, especially if you're going single player. If you're in a server, it'll get you through the first bit. Yeah, I can't pick any more up. Run over, stick it in the chest. And some of you may not know this, but if you pick up any stack of anything in your inventory and have it on your cursor like this, and then you hold down Shift and double click on any other item in your inventory, it will move all of the item type you clicked on up into the chest. That'll start refilling. We won't run out. This crafting book over here, one of the best things they've added in a long time. Which is saying something, because they've started adding some real nice touches to Minecraft. Throw the rest of that back up in there. I really should get a pressure plate going on that front door so that it automatically opens and or automatically closes, so that friends like that don't find their way in the building and surprise me. This is one of the reasons I picked this biome. We have our beautiful little tropical fish. From what Azuma Void says in one of his myth-busting videos or informational videos, can't remember which, there's quite a few variations of those. I believe he came up with 32 different tropical fish, as well as our squid, cod, salmon. Let's just help this guy out. He seems to want to end it. I put a little dock down here. We'll get around to finishing this dock off at some point, probably soon. The build is... It really is just your basic box. And my cat's on my keyboard. Yes. Yes, I know you want to cuddle. But I'm in the middle of something right now, bud. So this is just your basic box build. Either this episode or next episode, probably next episode, we'll get around to transforming it into not just a box. Because the boxes get boring after a while. Inside I just added some nice stairs here to cover up the hoppers for the fish farm. Let's finish filling that up. And as you can see, it's fairly easy to keep the kelp up. You just go down there every once in a while and get almost a double inventory worth of kelp. Throw it in here. Make sure you keep the kelp blocks full. Each one of these kelp blocks will smelt 20 items. So you don't want to use it if you're only throwing like 4 iron in there. It's probably getting close to night. And my cat's being very insistent. Alright, today I'm thinking we've got a nice pick. We've got our boring iron armor. We've got our spruce doors and magma blocks for underwater. But all we have is the spruce saplings. I'm thinking we need to go out and find ourselves a couple of other saplings so we can get a little tree farm going. Because having a little color variation would definitely help out this build. And by the way, this build is probably only temporary through the season. It may end up staying as like a fishing shack, but I'm planning on making a massive log cabin right there. It's a design that I came up with a while ago using I want to say it's 11 by 11 panels that have depth on both sides, kind of like this log wall does, where it sticks out both in front and on the other side. Just gives it a little extra life. And in some cases it gives it a little extra utility because you can stuff a box in there and it's not sticking out in the floor. It would look like it belongs there. Sorry about that, my cat is still being insistent. You know how cats are. They don't, yeah. Whatever you want or need, the cats don't care. They know what they want and what they need. It's tough not to love them though, because they're so damn cute. All right, what direction are we at? No. Odie, go sleep in your box, buddy. I'm doing something. Okay, so initially we came from west and south is spawn. Now let's see what's south here. Oh, hi, dolphin. Yeah, these coral reefs are amazing. Mojang did a beautiful job with these. I'm really glad they made the fans. If you didn't know, you can, in these biomes, you could go down with bone meal on any part of that sand, if you hit it with bone meal, you'll get some seagrass and some of those, let me show, some of these coral fans in a random assortment. So it's nice that those are renewable. I probably should have brought a bed. I wish they would make the coral blocks themselves renewable in some fashion, because while I do have a lot of coral around my area, I don't necessarily want to tear up my landscape in order to get any of it. Although, I believe I will pop down here real quick. There's a nice clump of sea pickles over here. These things are amazing. I don't want to completely dim this area. Let's see where they'll go. But I would like to get some of these. From what I understand, if I made say a 9x9 platform out of coral blocks and put a sea pickle down and hit it with bone meal, I'll get multiple bone meals in return. Yeah, I should have definitely brought a bed. Oh, there's birch. Ooh, darkwood. Definitely get me some dark oak. I was never a big fan of the birch, but the stripped birch logs look amazing. They're great for floors, they're great for walls. Well, there's way too many friends over there. So I'm gonna wait this night out, and I'll catch up with you when it hits daytime. So actually, while we're waiting for it to turn day, I took a look down in the water, and I saw this. A pretty badly deteriorated shipwreck. So let's get some doors on our inventory. And slap one down right there. Probably would have helped if I had it in my hand when I was trying to place it, huh? Alright, let's see what we got here. There should be at least one chest. Even in one as badly deteriorated as this. Well, hi there. Sometimes these guys can really cruise in the water. Alright, anything under here? See how handy these doors are? Whichever way you're coming, you can open it, close it, give yourself access. Did he bring any friends? No, I don't think so. So usually there's one back here. Maybe not. I haven't quite decided the style of recording that I want to try to use for my videos yet. But personally, I kind of enjoy the ones that just follow somebody along. And for example, if I'm sitting at work on one of my breaks. I can kind of watch along, and it's not quite as good as being home playing myself, but it's pretty close. Helps the workday go by quicker. Helps get you excited about coming home and relaxing to one of your favorite games. And I think that might be the style that I'm going to go for. Also, I'm still learning editing and audio software and all that other good stuff. So this may be the best method for me to learn that stuff without stressing out too much about editing a bajillion clips per episode. I don't think we're going to get lucky and have more than one chest in this. It was already pretty beat up shipwreck, so I don't really mind destroying it anymore. Wow, there's such a difference in how long it takes when I'm standing inside the door and when I'm standing just outside the door. Alright, I don't think we're going to find anything else in there. And by the looks of it, the sun has begun to come up. So I think we're going to pack up our doors. And 2. And here's a little trick. I know there's creepers and skeletons and zombies just waiting to give me hugs in there. But if I turn around and go away about 128 blocks, which in a boat is fairly quick, it's maybe 10 seconds. Then I turn around and come back, many of them should be despawned, and I should have fewer of them to contend with while I try to get my dark oak saplings. That would be amazing if there was a mansion in here. Again, it's something I didn't explore when I scouted out the seed. I would definitely love to renovate one of those woodland mansions one of these days. They're just so hard to find. Suppose I'll just start stripping this entire shore, just so it looks like a natural beach instead of looking like somebody ravaged the landscape. That's something you always want to keep in mind when you're gathering supplies in your world, is what parts will you be back to? And do you even mind if they still look natural, or if they, you know, look partially destroyed? I would prefer to leave most areas as intact as I can. I wonder if Fortune 3 on your axe still works. I'm not entirely sure if it was just a placebo or if it actually did work. But I always put Fortune 3 on my diamond axe, and if I beat up some of the leaves with it, it always seemed like I got a small percentage more saplings than I would have if I didn't use a Fortune 3 axe. Again, one of these days I'll have to figure out a way to test that, just to be sure. I'm less worried about how much wood I get right here, and more worried about making sure that I get plenty of saplings so that I can start a farm. I'll take those. Let's make ourselves a crafting table. Actually, we'll just use the oak planks. And that should do for a little while. Dark oak forests do not make it easy because all the trees are connected, so a lot of these leaves won't despawn until I get rid of that tree as well. Otherwise, I might just head on in and, chop down random trees within so it retains its natural look. But if I do that, I'm likely just end up with a whole bunch of UFO leaves. Anything down there? No, I don't think so. So I'd like to walk away with 12 saplings. Yeah, I always end up using dark oak and acacia. I think they go very well together. But we've got some new blocks to play with in this new update. So I may have to try to break my mold a little bit and go outside of my comfort zone. I love the way acacia pops against the dark oak though. At some point we will make a tunnel to here through the nether, and hopefully there's some sort of desert nearby, because I'd really hate to just strip these beaches. Help these along a little bit. 4. I did a LAN world with my old lady not too long ago when 1.13 first came out, and it seemed like saplings were dropping much more than they had in the previous versions. At least with the birch and the oak and the spruce. Dark oaks still seem to be a little bit hard to get self-sustaining. Ideally, you'd get at least 4 saplings from each one of these trees, but that doesn't seem to always be the case, which is one of the reasons I bothered using a diamond axe with Fortune 3 on them. We may want to find a village somewhat soon too. I can get an infinite village breeder going, so that tonight when I go to AFK fish a little bit, we can wake up and see all the babies. maybe we'll get lucky and find a villager with mending on it. Because if you get a villager with mending, that is the way to go for mending books. For a lot of the other books, the AFK fishing farm works just as well, unless you're dead set against it. But for mending, AFK fish farm, if you get 3 books for an 8-hour night of AFKing, you've done well. And that means to get fully geared up here, not only would I need to actually find some more diamonds, but I probably need to spend the next 3 or 4 nights AFK fishing to potentially get the rest of my mending books. I still do have one held back in reserve. I think I'm waiting for a Silk Touch pickaxe. Now, where did we start off? Right over here? Alright, let's just strip this peninsula here, and then it'll just look like a bit of plains before the ocean. I'm new to this, but I'm having a blast doing it. So if you think what I'm doing is working, please, feel free to leave a like. It's one good way of letting me know that I'm heading in the right direction, and that you'd like to see more like it. Alright. We may end up going back out into the ocean for a bit. Maybe I'll go back to the base and grab a bed so we can get through the nights. Inventory's a little full anyway. See if there's any lingering saplings. I have so many big plans to do on this series. But I think I'm already getting up there in time for this video, and I've barely even touched any of my plans. So I think this series may end up with quite a few episodes. I'm hoping, as long as I can remember to back up my world as often as possible, which you can do now fairly easily. You select your world in the world selection pane in Minecraft. When you go to log on to your world, don't press play, just select it, go down to the edit button down at the bottom, and it brings up a number of selections, one of which is back up this world. It throws a backup copy of that world as it is at that moment into the folder, and then if something goes wrong, which this is Minecraft, and they're still pushing out updates, so it is possible for things to go wrong. It just means that you won't have to start from scratch. You may lose a few hours progress here and there if you have to use a backup, but that's a whole lot better than starting from scratch. In my own experience, I've found there's not much more defeating in this game than spending a bunch of time working through something and then having to redo it after you'd already done it. For some reason, it's just not as fun the second time. If you're moving on to a new build, it could be fun, but rebuilding the same thing and just getting caught up to where you were, it always feels defeating. So I like to, at least once a day, go into the edit menu and do that backup. Save a lot of heartache later on. Let's see, do I have any wool on me? Get rid of these. I'll need 3 of those. You'll find that I have a tendency to try to keep my inventory clean and empty. I don't know if that's how everybody does it, but it drives my OCD nuts when I don't. 6 saplings, that should be enough to get us going at least. I think we're gonna toss those. Where do I keep paper? There. Keep that and that. And sea pickles go with nature stuff, I guess. Mob drops. And we do have some wool. So let's bring that with us. How's that going? Alright, still have plenty. Okay, so we have some oak saplings, we have some dark oak saplings. We know where the birch are, so we'll definitely want to go grab some of those. So actually, I'm going to head over to the birch biome and start collecting some of that. And I think I'm going to call it an episode here. Thank you for watching. If you liked what I did, please consider leaving a like. If you really liked it, consider subscribing. And I will see you next episode. Thank you very much.